Yo, what is up, guys? It is your boy Pharaoh, and today we're going to be talking about Greenbull, or Ryokugyu in Japanese. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but which will probably be my favorite admiral. I don't know, it depends between him and Akainu and maybe Kizaru. But yeah, we're going to be basically talking about everything we need to know about him, his role in the Navy, ability, sense of justice, and when he might show up in the story. Now, I feel like Greenbull is the most hyped up top tier we haven't seen yet, because all the admirals are just cool individuals in general, because they have different personalities that come with different devil fruits. I mean, when we got FUJITORA, his sense of justice character, devil fruit ability, everything about FUJITORA was amazing. I mean, he had that moment in Dressrosa when he brought down the meteor, and that was like one of the most hype moments in Dressrosa, bringing down that meteor. Yo, it gave me chills, yo, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the admirals, I just love their personality. They're like one of my favorite groups in One Piece, and knowing we're gonna get a new one is definitely hype. But yeah, they always bring in the hype that everyone wants on a similar tier than the Yonkos themselves. Now, I'll be honest here, I'm more interested in the admirals than the Yonkos, mostly because of how different they are. I mean, there's something about the admirals that I just love more than the Yonkos. Now, if there's two Yonkos I really want to know more about, it's gonna be Kaido and Blackbeard, because I feel like these guys are like way more mysterious than Shanks and Big Mom. We kind of know something about those other two, but Blackbeard and Kaido, I feel like those guys, there's so like something about them that's crazy. But yeah, everything we got from FUJITORA at Dressrosa was great, so I expect equal or more hype that FUJITORA got with Greenbull, and I think Oda is going all in with this guy or girl. Now, I say girl because we're not any clear yet. Now, let's backtrack for a little bit. Who is Greenbull? Now, these are all the information we know about Greenbull, him or her as of right now. He was one of the admirals chosen from the Navy draft alongside FUJITORA, and he was stated to be a monster when it comes down to a fight, as stated by Doflamingo, because when FUJITORA brought the meter down, Doflamingo and Law, we kind of shook from that. So, if this is his base ability, can you imagine like what a full-powered admiral FUJITORA can do? And Greenbull is going to be something on the same caliber or tier as FUJITORA, so it's going to be crazy. Now, one of the biggest questions the community wants to know about Greenbull is he male or female? Now, this is my take. I feel like it would be amazing if Greenbull was female, but going by the trends Oda has shown us with the previous admirals, it's unlikely, but it's still possible, because from what I've seen from the silhouette, this individual has like long and frisky hair, a lot similar to Kuzan in a way, so Greenbull being a girl isn't too crazy. And something else we need more in One Piece is female top tiers. The only one we know as of right now is Big Mom, and in the past it was probably like Prime Suru or something like that. Maybe Boa Hancock is like next in line, maybe, but I don't really think she's like top tier like that. So yeah, we don't really have that many strong females in One Piece like that, so Greenbull being a female would definitely be something different on the table, and the fan base would love that. I can only imagine how crazy the fan base would go if Greenbull was actually female. There's gonna be like the thick memes and all that crazy stuff, knowing the One Piece community and their craziness. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be crazy, but I do think Greenbull will be male. But it would be cool if she was female too, but going by the trends we saw, he's probably gonna be male. Now, even though we know nothing about Greenbull, we can still obtain some information just based on his name alone, which is something you can only do in One Piece. You can probably not do that in any other series other than One Piece. This is something you can do with pretty much all the names, the nicknames of all the admirals usually have, Aokiji, Red Dog, and all that. Now, his Japanese name is Ryokugyu, which stands for Greenbull, as I said before. Now, given what we know from the previous admirals, the color represents their devil fruit ability, which I will get back to later in this video, and the animal represents their personality. So in this case, Greenbull's devil fruit color theme would be green, and his personality should be similar to that of a bull. And given that we know that now, this guy might be the most vicious admiral we will ever get to see. His justice might be something similar to Akainu's absolute justice, but I feel like even Akainu would have problems with this guy. His justice might be called like wild justice or barbaric justice, whereas he attacks in the moment and asks the questions later. Just a savage individual in general. I can see him and Zoro doing some crazy stuff in this series. series, I don't know. Now think of him as the Kaido of the Marines, or the Jack of the Marines. Just like how the Marines questioned Fujitora's action, it would definitely be the same thing with Greenbull, whereas they might start to think like, yo, should we really have this guy as an admiral? And I feel like admirals are always split up in 3 sections. We have quote-unquote good Marines, Aokiji and Fujitora. Then we have the neutral admirals. The only known one I know so far is Kizaru and maybe Sengoku in the past. And we have the extreme admirals. In this case, it would be Akainu and Greenbull. So in a way, Greenbull is Akainu's replacement, while Fujitora is Aokiji's replacement because of how similar they might be personality-wise. So the conclusion here is that Greenbull will be an aggressive admiral given the personality we can take from a bull, because like bulls are really aggressive animals. So he's gonna take on the personality of a bull, which is crazy. That's even worse than a dog. Now let's take a look at his devil fruit ability. Again, going by what I just said before, green is the color of his ability, so we're gonna be looking at green themed ability. Now we all know the abilities of the admirals. The admirals have shown so far are all hacks devil fruit abilities. These are like the top echelons when it comes down to devil fruit abilities. Usually Logias and like crazy paramecias. We have gravity, light, magma, ice. So yeah, Greenbull's power should also be a power that would like just blow us away, like something we would never imagine like that was possible or something like that. Now most of the abilities that come to mind would be radiation because of his green decay. That's actually been a theory that's been out for a while. Nature, or like a forest ability, and a mythical nature zone, tree folk zone, an acid paramecia, or like a Logia, or a hockey specialist, something we don't really see every time. The only last hockey specialist would be like Garp. He could be a lot like Garp, and maybe the first Marine to have like something like King's Haki because of his wild nature. We know people with King's Haki, like they have a sense of being above somebody, like they like being their own person, and you know, him being under the Navy kind of like ruins that. But maybe he might just be like the first Marine to have like King's Haki, and maybe Garp was the last one, and that's why he disobeys orders or something like that. I can see that happening. And finally, some people think he might even have a time devil fruit, which I doubt because of how hard it would be for Oda to handle, or he's just gonna nerf it to a crazy extent like he does with Fujitora and Kizaru, because I feel like Kizaru and Fujitora, like these guys have to be nerfed to some extent to like even put up a fight with some other characters in the series. Like there's people out here doing stuff with biscuits that can, you know, tangle with Gear 4. Can you imagine what someone can do with gravity if someone is doing that with biscuits? Yeah, just think about that for a second. So yeah, I doubt it's gonna be a time devil fruit because he's gonna nerf it like crazy. That's kind of out of my list right now. Now my personal favorite would be the nature or forest zone, which could be hacks if you think about it. I mean, just think of like the first Hokage in Naruto, who was hailed as the strongest in the verse, and a hockey specialist wouldn't be too bad either, gearing towards a Marine that may have conquers Haki, and it would make sense given his description of his animals. You know, bulls are like stubborn animals that don't really follow orders. They're kind of just like wild in nature, so that might make sense towards him having, you know, King's Haki, or like him being like a hockey specialist and he disobeys orders, and he probably refused the admiral position but he was like forced to take it or something, similar to like how Garp like turned down the admiral position. But yeah, that would be kind of crazy to see. So yeah, Greenbull will not take orders because he doesn't feel like he is an underling of the Navy, even though I did say this guy would be similar to Akainu. I feel like they would still have arguments just like we saw with Fuji and Akainu back in Dressrosa. But as far as abilities go, those would be great to see. But I feel like there's a huge chance that Oda is going to make his ability something we haven't seen yet, or we could never guess. Usually when Oda introduces an admiral, he introduces them showing their ability, you know, like Kizaru when we saw him in Marijoa, and he kind of did like a fast motion thing there, kind of hinting towards his ability. So we might see something with this guy. Maybe it's the first time we see Greenbull, where he's gonna like do something where he captures like 10 pirates with like bounties over like 300 million in the span of like a minute or something crazy that would give us a hint that this guy is obviously no joke, and a vicious admiral will come with a vicious devil fruit. So if we think gravity is kind of crazy, I can only imagine what Greenbull has. Now the final question here is, when will Greenbull make his appearance in the story? Now a lot of people speculate we might get to see him at the Reverie, which is the arc after Whole Cake that we are in right now, and he might be like a bodyguard there protecting the Celestial Dragons or something like that. Or he might show up during Wano Kuni, where the Straw Hats go up against Kaido. And I actually heard someone say, I think it was Brago, saying that we might get 2 admirals in Wano Kuni, since we know Fujitora is chasing after Luffy and we have to see Greenbull at some point. So maybe we see 2 admirals admirals in Wano, and that's going to be crazy. We're gonna have these guys may have like a clash of ideals, because I think Greenbull and FUJITORA are gonna be like direct opposites, so they're gonna have a clash there maybe, and that's why a lot of people think Wano is just gonna be crazy. It's gonna be epic at the same time, but I definitely see him being in one of these arcs, maybe Elbath, but that's kind of too far to like. They teased him in chapter 801, and for him to actually show up in like, you know, 4 arcs later is kind of crazy. So I think it's gonna be one of this upcoming arcs that we're gonna see Greenbull. And Oda did state that Greenbull has like a dope design, so his character is gonna look crazy. Again, probably gonna be my favorite admiral, I'm just saying, so I definitely can't wait for him to show up in the series. But anyways guys, that's pretty much it. Like the video if you liked it, comment down below what you think. Be a part of the notification squads if you want to get notified on my videos. Subscribe for more One Piece content on my channel. Again, comment down below, do you think Greenbull is gonna be crazy or he's gonna be lackluster? Comment down below. It is Ferro guys, and I will see you folks later. Peace.